as the main reason. Joining me now in the studio to discuss the findings is Dom LaVigne. He's the Executive Director of the American Chamber of Commerce in Singapore. Dom, nice to have you back on the program. How important is Southeast Asia to the global economy?
It's extremely important. When you look at the survey that we did across the region, about 80% of companies indicated that they would be expanding. I think overall, in terms of the region, very, very bullish, and a significant number of American investors who are operating here.
And American companies, I'm sure, are realizing that they sit in a market of more than 500 million people.
Yes. It's significant. At the same time, I think it poses challenges because when you talk to most American companies, they indicate that they don't have an ASEAN strategy. They have a country-by-country strategy. And I think the importance of ASEAN integration will really be quite important for
Why don't they have an ASEAN strategy?
Because I think in different countries there are different laws, different trade barriers, different regimes. So it's very difficult for them to have a unified strategy, let's say, as compared to Europe.
If you take a look at Southeast Asia, you have the rich countries and the poor countries on opposite sides of the spectrum. Let's take a look at a few of them. For example, Indonesia. What kinds of hurdles are American companies facing there, and what are the pros on the flip side?
Sure. I think on the hurdles would be corruption, infrastructure, predictability and reliability of governance and government regulations. On the positive side, I think there is positive views about the government that it's trying to make reforms and changes, and it's a market that many of our investors, particularly ones in Singapore, are looking at.
What about the Philippines? First quarter economic growth 6.9%, its fastest clip in 17 years. Are American companies still seeing these kinds of problems that they also see in Indonesia, problems of corruption, protectionism, and governance?
Yes. Many American companies are looking at the Philippines actually for business process outsourcing and shared services investments, but at the same time, some of the issues that you highlighted are causing concerns among American companies as to whether to put their further investments in the Philippines.
What about Vietnam? It is now part of the World Trade Organization. We're now seeing more of a free flow of trade and services between Vietnam and the United States. Is this helping?
Very much, and I think also many of the changes that the Vietnamese government has made in terms of regulatory and legal changes are being recognized by U.S. companies. Vietnam is by far the hottest market for AmCham Singapore members. We're doing actually our second trade mission in a year to Vietnam in a few months.
What about Thailand? Still led by a military-controlled government. We will be having elections in December. Are American companies staying put, or are they staying on the sidelines in terms of expanding their businesses there?
I think they're staying on the sidelines and waiting to see what will happen. The difficulty with Thailand has really been the predictability of laws with the Foreign Business Act that was implemented. That caused concern among American investors about local ownership questions. And I think they're really trying to get a stable and predictable legal framework in Thailand. And when that happens, I think it will be much easier for you.
Taking a look at your survey, you don't have the likes of Cambodia or Laos. Are U.S. business and trade missions planning to go in to look for opportunities?
Yes. Well, actually, AmCham Singapore will be taking a mission to Cambodia in early 2008. We're seeing increased growth and interest from U.S. companies there. In Laos, not so much development yet. I think it's still a fairly fresh market.
Dom LaVigne, Executive Director of the American Chamber of Commerce for Singapore. Nice to have you with us.